Namaskar, everybody. Thank you for joining. I know there is Priyanka's new today for the first time she's joining. So, what we do, Priyanka, for the first 10 minutes, we sit in silence. This is meant to kind of center you back to, trying to be quiet as much as possible. Here, we don't do anything except that, you still have thoughts coming, but don't engage. You can just observe them and let them come and go, but don't try to analyze, don't try to figure them out, nothing. Just sit in silence and try to, um, find that silence within you. So I'll keep the time. Um, then I'll let you know when the time is up. Okay. So here we go. Okay, let's come out of it slowly. Give it a minute. Okay, all right. Amen. Was that better today?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Priyanka, how was it?
Good, Ashish.
Good. All right. Okay. So today's session, we don't actually have a topic. And what I thought of doing today was that this year, since we restarted our satsangs since February, we've had uh, a number of sessions, actually quite a few. And then we also had the retreat in the middle. So we've covered various topics. We've covered non-attachment. I think we covered mind, thoughts, and the last one that we had, which was 2 weeks ago, was on death. So I thought I would, since we're in the middle of the year, um, I thought that this session I'll take a break from discussing topic and open it to all of you with, to answer any questions that you may have. It doesn't have to be on any topic. You can ask me any question under the sun. So um, I know Pete had sent in a question via email, and we'll try and cover that during the session today. But who wants to start? Who wants to start by asking a question? And anything, again, we can discuss anything, and we don't even have to discuss about spirituality. We can discuss whatever you guys want to.
Should we discuss politics, Trump?
Uh, well, you can. I just don't have an opinion on it. So you certainly can ask your question. You may get your answer in silence. So who wants to go?
Um,
Pete, you want to?
Yeah, Guruji, I will ask you one question.
Yeah.
How this spirituality emerged and what spirituality means? Uh, let's go back to 10,000 years Vedic time,
Yeah.
uh, and before that, and after that, and during the Vedic time. So, if you can cover that one, that will be very useful.
Right. So spirituality per se, um, to me, right? Spirituality could mean different things to different people, right? And actually, if you look at it as a word, spirituality, nothing has, nobody knows where it's come from. It's just a word, right? It's just like, your name has just, it's a word. But to me, spirituality means a pathway to spirit. And spirit for me is pathway to emptiness, to nothingness, right? To shunya, as we call it, or to the origin. So I look at, um, I would say that, religious teachings would be a pathway to spirituality, and spirituality would be a pathway to nothingness or emptiness, or back to your realization of your original state. So that's how I look at spirituality per se. But again, you know, this is a very interesting question. Actually, somebody from Harvard asked me this, and a young girl, and she said, but Ashish uncle, what does spirituality actually means? I hear this word spirituality here, there, and everywhere else, right? People have also taken yoga as to be spiritual, or um, all your religious teachings to be also spiritual. But to me, Pete, spirituality would actually just mean a pathway to the spirit. And that spirit per se would just be back to your original state of being, or to realize, who you are. Uh, that's how I would define spirituality. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, but still I have some questions. Uh,
Okay. Keep going.
also,
Today is Q&A. Ask as many.
yeah, sometimes you mentioned also in the past, also it is a liberation. Spirituality is also maybe one of the meaning, maybe liberation. Somewhere I got it in my brain, that word. Uh, is that also right? I mean,
So you have to, yeah, in words, liberation, again, liberation is only valid as long as you believe that you're bound, right?
uh-huh,
But remember, I've tried to tell you that if you look from your original state, from the starting point,
uh-huh,
then you're never bound, right? So when you look at all of these things, whether it be spirituality, whether it be liberation, whether it be wisdom, whether it be ignorance, all of these are applicable to the point when you wake up. The moment you wake up, or the realization is complete, the validity of all of these words and
mhm,
pointers
mhm,
towards the one thing
uh-huh,
become invalid. Because when you wake up, or when you have this realization, that you know of your original nature, you come to the realization that nothing had actually happened. It was all part of, as we call it, a dream drama, or only an appearance. So, if you are complete and whole from the beginning, and you are already liberated from the beginning, you just believed in something. You believe that you were bound, and hence something was seeking liberation. But once you wake up,
mhm.
that very thing that was seeking liberation, or believe that was bound and hence seeking liberation, has disappeared. And that thing that was seeking was the false belief in your individual existence. So, as long as you believe in the idea of individuality, and that there is a separate I as Pete that exists, then till then, the validity of spirituality as a pathway to liberation is correct. But that validity only remains
Okay.
till you are falsely identified with this notion of an individual self.
And this celebration happens in the silence, in the environment of
Liberation
silence.
happens, yes. This liberation, or so called liberation, happens when a dissolution of this belief or idea of individual existence disappears. And that disappearance happens in silence, because it appeared out of silence, and hence it disappears into silence.
Also, when I was meditating today, or rather in the past also, when we close our eyes, I put off the light and make it as dark as possible. And at that time, uh, I try to stop my thinking, but still some thought comes and goes. But I see some kind of, although my eyes are closed, I see some kind of a moment of the cloud kind of things. Normally they're bright and shine, not very bright, little lighter, and comes and goes and flies here and there. Is that a process of becoming real closer to the what you call liberation stage, or just either, I don't know what is that. Although my eyes are closed completely and it's dark.
So these could be just visions. This could be just mind playing, So the mind, remember, does not like to be quiet. The mind likes an outward engagement, right?
Uh-huh.
So as it is the same force, remember I explained to you in one of the satsangs that there are kind of, it appears to be two opposing forces, but there's only an appearance. The force is only one, right? So um, there could be visions, there could be different people have different things, but at the end of the day, pure silence has nothing happening in it. And as you experience it, you will not mistake it for anything. When you touch that pure silence within, which is what I think Bob had experienced a couple of satsangs ago, means um, that experience, that feeling is very different from what you experience as peace in your normal, in the normal life. But that's good. If you are experience different things, that's fine. It's all depends on what your internal feeling is when you come out of it. Do you feel more calmer? Do you feel more peaceful um, from sitting in that, at that time in the meditation? But I would always say that if you're having any visions, and what will happen is as you go deeper in your meditation, you will have visions. If you believe in a particular form of God, a lot of people have had when they've sat in meditation with me, I've had experiences of that form. But I always tell them that don't get stuck with the form, because they're so happy to see their the very God that they've been praying to for so many years, they're now seeing in a vision. But that's, you have to go beyond it. Don't get stuck. um, so I recently had I saw a very interesting story, and I was not aware of this. That So I think most of you on this, I know Eamon may, and maybe Devin may not, and not sure about Matt, but there was a self-realized master called Ramakrishna Paramhans, right? Who was, if you know Swami Vivekanand, he was Swami Vivekanand's guru. Now, uh, Ramakrishna Paramhans was a huge follower of goddess Kali, like huge devotee, right? So for a long time, there is this temple out in Calcutta where he was like the head priest, and his devotion to Kali was like it was very, very strong. So during one of his when he was praying during one of his prayer sessions, actually he said that Kali appeared to him in form as a vision, and basically told him to go see so and so guru and go meet him. And he was like, but why do I need a guru? Why do I need to go meet a guru? You are my guru, Lord, goddess, right? And he said, no. She said, look, don't, just as I'm instructing you, go um, go meet him. So he said, okay. With reluctance, he went and met this guru, because goddess had told him to do that. And when he met the guru had only one instructions for him. He said, yes, I know you've come here. He said, the next time the vision of Kali, she appears to you, take a sword and basically, you know, uh, split her into two. And he was like completely shocked. He's like, what do you mean? Um, this is my goddess. This is who I've been praying to. This is who I believe in. And he said, look, if I'm instructing you to do this, do not question what I'm asking you to do. You've been sent here by her to me, and this is my instructions to you. So the next time she appears as a vision, take the sword, don't question, and basically split her into two. So with great reluctance, he went back, and when Kali appeared next time, he basically took the sword and split her into two. And at that moment, is when, you know, uh, the story goes is when he became enlightened. When so the his barrier to the final liberation, as the so-called liberation, was that he was still stuck to this vision of form, and he was praying to that, and that vision had to be struck down in order to find the ultimate liberation, or nirvana as we call it. So what that tells you is, and what I've always said, and that's what Buddha has also said, is that look, even if I come in your vision, don't don't get hung up on me. Don't think that's the end, because everything has to dissolve, everything has to disappear, or you can merge, within your own true nature. So Pete,
Yes, yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah,
and continue to move
yeah,
on,
yeah,
move on.
yeah.
Trust me, when you reach the end, when your notion or idea of I dissolves completely, it is such an experience that you will not, there will be no doubt whatsoever, because the doubter itself, the
Mhm.
question itself has dissolved. Nothing remains after that except pure being, pure peace.
Right. Yeah. And another small connected question is that this 10 minutes of silence we start every time. First 2, 3 minutes are still, although we have closed the eyes and dark is there and everything, we are still focusing. And then this kind of, cloud movement of the uh, lighted cloud, very lightly lighted, comes and goes, continuous pattern. After 3, 4 minutes later, uh, we come to the calmness little bit, but at the ninth and 10th minute, when you are saying open, we are not willing to ready to open the eyes. We want to continue a little more.
Right.
And I don't know, is it everybody is feeling like that, but I'm feeling this. This happens every time. And why this 10 minutes have finished so fast?
Yeah. So, yeah. So I would, because I would actually recommend longer, just because or during satsangs we want to cover other aspects. So I do 10 minutes, but I would, the longer you sit, the more you abide in the silence, even during the course of your day.
Mhm.
You will find that this will bring tremendous change in your daily life. Um, what it will not do is what people expect, is that it will not change the outward circumstances, right? Events, whatever they are, will happen, because that is just how grand design, how the drama is structured. But what it allows you to do is to look at things from clarity, right? Look at things from calmness, look at things from a very peaceful state of mind. So your reaction to something, or your reaction time to something, or even you may not react to something as you may have done in the past without those change. The way you deal with that circumstance, that changes over time. So, uh, you do not become, or you become more, um, I would say, reactionary. It's not, but that reaction is now coming from a center, um, which you had not tapped into, rather than coming from, a conditioning, which is a quick response. So even you'll see that as emotions are also rising within you, you will be able to see through those emotions. You will not get entangled in those emotions as much as you used to, because those emotions are supposed to pass through you, right? You're not supposed to be identified or entangled in them. So your body or your form is nothing but an instrument, or a tool that is, participating in, as we call the dream drama or the game of life. but your original state or the original self is only there to observe and watch. Has no reason, um, or purpose or meaning to engage or interact or get entangled in, um, within this dream drama. And that's where that uh, separation occurs, or just a feeling of separation occurs, which you can see. So the difference between somebody who has now understood and awakened than to somebody who's still asleep, that's the only difference, is that the person who's now awakened is looking at things from the original state, whereas somebody who's sleeping is still identified with the dream and still believes that the dream is real. That's the only difference.
The moment we open eyes, we definitely feel freshness. But before we opening the eyes, am I fallen in the uh, comfort zone, or 1 minute before opening eyes, status of mind is comfort zone? That's what I feel. And after reluctant to open 30 seconds, then afterwards I'm in a fresh mode again. Before 10 minutes and after 10 and a half minutes later, it's a different mindset altogether. That freshness is pleasing actually.
Good. Try now, instead of being 10 minutes, try doing it for 20 minutes.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
now, my question to you is, do you feel the same freshness when you do it yourself, or do you feel this freshness when you are here in the satsang?
Definitely in satsang, I feel that one. When I'm doing on my own, normally after the bath, I do that one. And there, it is not that much this thing. I have rhythmic way certain things to do, and automatically I open. That feeling is not there. Here I get more feeling. Freshness is very good here in organized manner. When I'm doing
Okay.
alone, it is not that intense. It is there also, that feeling, but not that intense.
Okay. Now, when you do it here,
Hmm.
are you focused or attuned to me?
Yes, yeah, that's.
Okay, try one thing, but I don't want you to get stuck on this. Okay. So now when you start on your like not during the satsang,
Mhm,
try and first focus on me.
mhm,
Okay.
On you, you said?
Yes. Try and focus on me. Attune to me.
mhm,
What do you mean by that?
So a lot of people um, do this distance thing with me, where they just start by thinking of me as form, right? In a form. So your focus point becomes me. You're attuned to me. You basically say, look, I'm going to sit in this satsang, or I'm going to sit in the silence, but I surrender everything to Ashish. I surrender all my thoughts, whatever, my pains, my suffering, whatever. I just surrender to Ashish. And you, for a little while, you've attuned to my energy, or to me as a form. Start with that. But what I don't want you to do is you're going to get an experience or something. But eventually, I would want you to, that story that I just told you, Paramhans, Ramakrishna Paramhans was so attuned to Kali that,
mhm.
but then eventually that has to be moved beyond. There should be no form or anything that you've now attached yourself to. So, but to help you get to the point, certain distance, try that, Pete. And
Uh-huh.
if you want to try and
Yes.
see what happens.
Yes, sure, I will try that. Yes.
Try that. Okay.
Mhm.
Remember when we were in the retreat,
Yeah.
I'd also asked you that, look, if you get stuck somewhere, or if you feel that there are too many thoughts coming, then surrender all of those to me at that time.
Mhm.
So all you're doing is you're surrendering, actually not to me as physical, but you're surrendering to something within you, only that you're surrendering to that in form as me. Do you understand?
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
But why is it Ashish to you?
Well, if you have deep faith and believe in Allah, then surrender to Allah. It's just something to get you centered to a point. Now it's deep devotion to something, right? And at this point, Pete has deep devotion towards me, for reasons that he's gone through. So he feels this devotion and this energy during the time that you sit in a satsang. So if you start with that same devotion and energy when you're sitting, right, it just allows you to center yourself. So for me, for a long time, I used to do it with Ramana in mind, because that's who I had learned, certain things from, till I was able to go beyond, all, beyond Ramana, beyond Paramahansa Yogananda, beyond all of it, right? So a lot of people, Lord Krishna is one form that people follow. Lord Rama is one form. Somebody follows, Lord Shiva. So these are just forms that you get, like Paramhans was doing, Goddess Kali. So if you have something else um, that you are extremely devoted to, surrender all your thoughts and everything to that. So amen in your case, if it's Allah, or somebody's case, if it's Jesus or whoever, if whatever that form is, but you have to do it with deep devotion, because
Ashish, I'm sorry, but isn't that all what we have been talking about is we need to stay away from attachment.
yes,
That's one.
exactly. Yes, correct.
Two, yeah, so we need to stay from attachment. And also we were saying all the time that um, we, whoever we are, and God are one and the same, right?
Amen. Absolutely correct. So again, remember, we had this conversation last time. You've reached at a state where your understanding has reached at one state. So you got it. So your practice, whatever you're doing, is specific to you. So if you reach a state where you've understood that everything else, there's nothing there, you don't need any form or anything uh, to believe in. It's exactly where everybody needs to be.
Yeah.
So your understanding, you don't need any other
Because
examples or anything.
because I was reading in your book, right, or in Anil's book, right? You don't want a middleman, right? You don't want to have a middle
Nothing. There is no middleman.
entity.
There is no middleman. There is no. That is what non-duality means. There is no middleman. So for you, because you understood and you come to that point, you stick with that. That is where ultimately you need to reach. For Pete still is at a state where he's still trying to figure things out. So this is just a tool to help him get to the next stage.
Okay, all right, understand. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
I just have a
So
comment
I
about.
know. So remember that I have to what in conversations, because everybody, like when
Yeah,
I
I
sit
understand.
with, right.
I
So
understand.
when I
Yeah, I
sit with
understand.
different people,
I understand. I just have a comment. If I don't want to, but just I have a comment. I'm trying to challenge myself. I would like to challenge also the group. Like when we are sitting in these 10 minutes, i- like the way we understand it, right? We don't, what do they call it? We are in silence 100% while we are in sleep. every once in a while we are sleeping, we dream of stuff. But when we are in deep sleep, that's the definition of complete silence. The minute we wake up, whether we like it or not, at least me, and that's what I'm saying, I'm trying to challenge myself, I'm challenging group, and I want everybody to be, if possible, as, I guess, transparent and honest with our responses, that uh, I cannot stop the mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it is, I'm, as you said, the thoughts comes. Now I'm better by getting rid of it. But then another thought will come in, and then I will get rid of it, and then another thought will come in, and then and then I was, oh my God, I have to. But what I'm saying, it is in my mind, in my capacity of understanding, there is no way. It's like I cannot stop breathing, right? I cannot stop
One.
breathing.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Stop there. Wonderful. Super. All right. You've got it. So you're trying to control something which is uncontrollable.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good. So now take it from there. Wonderful. So what's happening in from the process from deep sleep to the point of waking up, right? What is the process happening when you're in deep sleep? As you rightfully said, everything is shut. You're not aware there's of anything,
Correct.
but existence is there. Somebody will tell you that you're still alive. That means you exist. Okay. From the time you get out of deep sleep, what triggers next is that there is a spontaneous appearance of consciousness. You have not forced it.
No.
It is a process where consciousness has appeared.
Or awareness
has appeared.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Now, once this awareness appears, the next stage is that as this awareness appears, it begins to dream because it starts to identify with dream where the thoughts start coming, which again are coming on their own.
Correct.
Which you've got it. They're coming on their own.
Mhm.
Because of the identification, now you wake up and it keeps
Continues.
going on.
Correct.
So your original state is that deep sleep state.
Correct.
The only difference between self-absorption, as we call samadhi, or awakening or nirvana, is that in that deep sleep, because you're unaware, in awakened state, you're still even aware of that deep sleep state. So now, when these people talk about nirvana or Buddha or all this, when they are awake, they're always awake. So now they're seeing the deep sleep, they're able to see the deep sleep to the awakened as a dream, as it's happening. They are now fully able to experience that as well. For us, for most of us, what's happening is that when we are in deep sleep, we are not aware of anything. So every day we are going back and forth. We are going back and forth. Appearance of awareness causes the world to appear. Disappearance of awareness or consciousness, there is disappearance of the world. But all of this is happening on its own. So in reality, nothing needs to be done, for it's all happening on its own. The appearance and disappearance of awareness or consciousness, which is the cause or the great cause of all that is going on, is going to happen on its own. It keeps appearing and disappearing on its own. That is what when we say just be or be as you are, is what it means.
I like that. I like this explanation. I like it. But I'm just going back to closing our eyes and the meditation and controlling our thoughts. That's what I'm struggling with. I'm just saying that
No control. So
that's what I'm saying. I cannot control it.
Nothing. When we sit in silence, that's why I don't ask you to control it or engage or anything. Just sit. Don't do anything.
So what I'm saying, the meditation what I'm trying to get to the point is that meditation is different from deep sleep. Deep sleep, I'm in complete silence. At least I'm not aware of it. I'm not aware if there's something happening in my mind, in my existence while I'm in deep sleep, I don't know about it.
Okay, so
But
let's
when I
so now,
wake up, on and trying to do meditation, whether it's alone or with the group, thoughts comes and goes, and trying to let it come and go. That's the best I could do.
okay, so let's first. So another thing that has happened over years with the commercialization of uh, these teachings is that we very loosely use the word meditation.
Correct.
Okay, now meditation, and I think Matt can vouch for this. Meditation is the seventh step
Correct.
in the eighth step process of the Yoga Sutras, of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, who is known as the current father of yoga. He's the one is believed to have introduced yoga into you know the world that we know of.
Okay.
Right. Whereas, so, and why it's the seventh step? Because it is the step right before samadhi, which is self-absorption, right?
Correct.
Which is what we call it. So when you talk about meditation in the normal commercial aspect, right, that is not true meditation.
Understand.
Right? Because you go through the first six steps,
Mhm.
and then you're ready to do that deep meditation, which is
Understand.
almost equivalent to deep sleep,
Correct.
just before you go into self. Now, Buddha also said that meditation had four stages. And even in the fourth stage, we are not even, nobody in the normal state as you do meditation has even touched the first state.
Correct.
Right? It just gives you a good feeling. You do it for half an hour. Somebody tells you to do something, and then you get that quick fix, like your coffee, and you're off. But if you truly understand meditation, do it, then it's a very deep process, almost like deep sleep. In the fourth state, you're almost at deep sleep. So again, just be careful when you use meditation in explaining or understanding this thing. So we are just sitting doing nothing. It's not a meditation or anything. It's just sitting in silence, like literally.
So I mean, it's good to call it this way because we don't want to use the word we are meditating because we are not.
We are not meditating. You're
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
You have never. Trust me. None of. I don't know about Matt, but most of us here have not really meditated.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. So I mean, that's good to to put the right labels or the right
Yep.
definition of what,
Yeah.
so we are not, I guess, fooled with something that we are not doing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. Okay.
Okay.
So far our effort is only an effort to meditate, beginning to meditate.
Yeah. And what Eamon has just pointed you towards is that
Uh-huh.
actually no
Uh-huh.
effort is needed to do anything.
Uh-huh.
Because remember, everything is happening on its own.
Right.
It's only with the appearance of consciousness. So the big troublemaker is your consciousness or your awareness. That's the big troublemaker. Because till that doesn't appear, nothing else is there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you. This is a good clarification.
Yeah. And then, it starts imagining stuff. It gets identified with it, eventually comes to a realization that, something's off,
Uh-huh.
figures it out, realizes that, all this was all nonsense, and then disappears. Just keeps happening.
Mhm.
But eventually nothing to be done.
So
So
our yeah.
that's
Sorry,
what I
Anand.
tell you. That realization,
Uh,
self-realization, nothing is to self-realization is to realize that there's nothing to realize.
right. Anyway, this technique over a period of time we will develop it uh, because we need to still work within us.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's the whole conundrum of life, right? That you go through this whole process. This is why even when you read the Yoga Sutra, right? Once you hit self-absorption or you hit nirvana or you wake up, you realize that all of this actually was not needed, because you wake up and realize that you never went anywhere or nothing had happened. But this whole thing of going around and round in circles, which is happening on its own, is where, that's what life is. That's the gene drama. So when you come to the realization that you can just let go, right? Nothing needs to be done. Um, and that's just what life is.
Mhm.
Okay. Questions? More questions?
Maybe, I mean, I don't know whether we have time or not, but
But
uh, but mainly, I think the concept of God and somewhat also the concept of non-duality and non-attachment is kind of clear in my mind. The thing that I'm still struggling with is how we are God, how we are um, like how we all this is a dream. You know what I'm saying? It's like this concept is a little bit I'm struggling with. Uh,
So don't worry about that. So as you said, it's a concept, right? You use the word concept.
mhm.
Try to figure out who is it is struggling with the concept, rather
We are
than
all right. We
rather
are
than
all of us as all
rather
of
yeah
us.
rather than trying to figure out the concept itself, try and figure out who is it that is struggling with any concept.
Exactly.
Because right, because the entity or the so-called entity which is questioning, doubting, seeking, trying to figure out any concept is kind of alive, or appears to be alive, it will keep struggling, it will keep doubting, it will keep questioning.
Correct.
So the key here is to try and, when you try to figure out the dissolution of this or the disappearance of this entity, so-called entity, has to happen in order for everything else to go away. So
Correct.
right now you're still struggling within the dream drama, whether because this entity is still trying to keep you engaged. Because if, as long as you know you're identified or engaged, it's alive. It appears to be alive,
Correct.
right? So the key here is not to try and figure out all these concepts. The key here is to figure out who is trying to figure out all these concepts.
Correct. And that's what I'm struggling with. I mean, all of us, if we are not struggling with this question, we would
Yes,
not be here.
correct. And that, so this whole um, practice of self-inquiry, right, is that the question of who am I, with every thought or every struggle or every concept that comes to your mind when you question. So the practice of self-inquiry is not meant to find you an answer to those struggles or concepts or that. The point of asking the question, constantly, is to eventually dissolve the questioner. Because as long as the questioner is alive or appears to be there, his job is only one: to ask questions. So it will constantly keep asking. Once you figure out one thing, it'll tell you to figure out something else, and then something else. And as you said, the mind cannot be controlled. It will keep going, going, going. Thoughts will keep coming, coming, coming. It's still the identifier or the questioner that needs to disappear or dissolve. Is when, and this happens simultaneously. This happens, this awakening and dissolution or the disappearance of this questioner or this I, so-called I, happens, you know, simultaneously. So if you keep practicing this who am I, which was Ramana Maharishi's self-inquiry, or which is known as self-inquiry, his job is to eventually dissolve or disappear this questioner. And then this question of who am I also dissolves with it. Because if the questioner dissolves, there's nobody left to ask the question, who am I? Yeah, it's practice.
I
You
understand, but what I'm
but
saying, go ahead.
you're on the right, you're I find you to be on the right track. These are very good very good questions, Eamon. They're very good. You're right. Keep
Yeah.
okay. I mean,
All
I
right,
know it's not. Yeah, it's not. You're fine. You're on the right track. Keep
all
going.
right.
Keep going. Even your questions, your inquiries, they're all on the right track. Keep going.
All right. Very good.
Bob, I know last time you had lots of questions. You have any? Want to ask any today?
Thank you, Sri Ashish. Yes, I am learning as I am listening to all the answers. I'm hoping to hear the questions that I may have in mind. Somebody may already have the same questions. However, I was still dwelling on a fact from last time, if I may recall. You gave the example of deep sleep and compared that with death. Here is the problem I'm dwelling with. In a given day, when we have a list of things to finish from a practical aspect, and some odd reason we could not finish it all. And time has come, the day has come to an end, and we have to retire and go to bed. Here we go to sleep with the clear understanding that we'll continue with the unfinished task next day, isn't it? When we get up, we remember exactly where we left off with. And now compare this with death. Okay. If I may take this body, just like you are comparing this body with a vehicle, and the engine is the soul. Understand the vehicle, the frame of the vehicle has rusted out, but the engine is good. The soul does not rust out. Soul just takes a different form. And this engine no longer can be operated in this vehicle. And what happens? We get rid of the frame and get a new frame, just like the soul enters a new body of a newborn baby. Now, here is my question. Just like the soul enters a newborn baby, the problem is everything that previous body has learned and we could not finish the task is completely lost. Now the new baby has to start from ground zero. Now tell me a technique that we could preserve those because the soul still has some memory because we have seen this that people somehow jumpstart and all of a sudden they finish so many tasks so fast, like the way you were giving example of Vivekanand. He finished everything at the age of 30. Maybe he carried this thing from the past and continued. Why can't we do the same? Tell me a technique that I would, if I did not finish my journey in this life, I don't have to repeat everything from zero again.
Truly,
So, knowing the
right?
Indian philosophers have come up with so many things for thousands of years, wouldn't there be a technique that will tell us how to preserve it and continue in our next life?
So you're talking about concept of reincarnation, correct? You're basically
Kind of.
right. Now,
Yeah.
as long as you believe in your individuality, right? You believe in the belief of karma, cause and effect,
Mm-hmm.
and karma basically, what does it say? It's just playing out. But what we are talking about, if so far, is that there is no I, there is no individual existence. Consciousness, which is universal to all, is basically taking these different forms to play out its dream drama. So consciousness has this, it's continuous. Deep sleep, appearance and disappearance of consciousness in different forms. It's happening all the time. It's a perpetual cycle. So consciousness has memory. It remembers. It's only taking different forms to continue this karmic cycle. The trick or awakening is nothing but to realize that this is only a dream drama. So you, as Bob, are thinking that, look, I don't have any memory, I won't finish my tasks. But that's not how karma works. Karma has a database of everything. But that's a universal database. And that's all belongs to within the purview of consciousness. So it will continue and perform whatever needs to do to continue the dream drama to go on. Only Bob as a instrument is going to get burnt or buried when it dies. As you rightfully said, once this external vessel has become old and its period time is ended, it you basically take it off. It's like your old clothes. You throw it, you wear new clothes. For consciousness, your body is nothing but old clothes. Something within has identified and started to believe and take ownership and say, oh, my body and my mind, and these are my thoughts, and these are my body, and I have to hold on to it so I can finish all my tasks. No, not from consciousness perspective. You are consciousness, this I am that we talk about, is that pure consciousness. That is universal. That is what is creating this dream drama to continue, not Bob as an individual. So why is Bob struggling with whether I will finish all my tasks and whether I'll be able to do this and whether I'll be able to continue? No, continuation will happen. You just have to realize that it's a dream drama. So either you can be identified with the dream or you can wake up and realize that this is all a dream. That's all.
Now, would you tell me, by practicing this yogic technique, I would not use the word meditation because we haven't gone there yet. Any technique, say you prescribe, whoever prescribes, would I able to know what I did in my last life?
But why do you want to know if it's a dream?
Oh, well, you said,
it's
yeah.
it's right. It's a dream. It's not real, Bob. What you did in the past or in the future or what's happening now, it's a dream. It's an imagination of the imaginary. How is it
It, would,
relevant? What you did?
it feels like we start everything from zero again.
Right.
We must have done something, so maybe it would
Well, again,
revive so we can jumpstart a lot faster.
so again, who is it that is doing it? From consciousness perspective, consciousness has done everything. Anything and everything that has happened within this dream drama has been done by you as consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
If you are consciousness per se, the universal consciousness, if you are that self or the pure consciousness that we talk about, then this entire dream drama. So there's a saying that I do. I say you are not in the world is in you.
Mm-hmm.
You have done it all, Bob. Everything that you can imagine has been done by you, because this is all imaginary. It's all imaginations of this awareness or the appearance of awareness. As long as you believe that you're not that and you believe and you identified with this individual entity called Bob, now you are struggling. Now the validity of reincarnation, struggling that, look, I've got all these things I have to achieve during my lifetime. If I've not achieved it, I will leave it behind. Then I will, what do I come back as? Can I find a way to remember so I can then finish all my tasks? But those tasks will never finish. As long as you keep believing in an individual, the tasks they are perpetual. You will never complete all your tasks. So the only thing is to realize that this is all make believe. As long as you identified with the dream continues in perpetuity. So how will you finish all your tasks? You'll never finish all your tasks. You will continue to keep going in circles in this till one day the realization will happen. Something will trigger for this consciousness to realize that, wait a minute, I keep doing this. I keep going around in circles. I keep doing the same thing. I keep coming back in these different forms. I keep have this apprehension that my form eventually will die. So I keep taking these rebirths after rebirths after rebirths. But somehow it seems that I'm still continue to do the same thing. Somehow these tasks are never finishing. Wait a minute, something is off. That means I'm not getting, I'm not getting satisfaction or contentment here or there. So wait a minute, let me go figure something out. Now, where do I get this? Oh, let me go find somebody who, let me look at books. Let me find somebody who has done this before. Maybe somebody has found a way. Maybe somebody can give me a different answer. So we find somebody, or it finds another form itself, which has experienced. Then it does these practices, goes through this whole process, and eventually comes to a realization that wakes up. He says, wait a minute, all of this was all created by me, like a fool. I was just chasing something which was not there. I was trying to find liberation when I was never bound, just falsely identified. And then says, okay, I will now rest.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's all this is.
Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just get there.
Okay, and hi. Questions today for me?
Nope, no questions. Thank
No
you.
question. Matt, anything today?
Uh, if you have any questions, it's just really nice to hear everyone else's questions and comments. And
Okay.
I liked what you were saying about meditation. It's um, it's challenging, and you're right about like the 8 limbs of yoga, about where it sits on there, and I I don't know if meditation is meant to really quiet the mind, like you were describing. The mind's almost job is to think. So how do you try to turn that off? It's almost futile. But then kind of disconnecting and realizing that it's not you that's making the thoughts is, I think, the point, and not engaging in them
Right.
was kind of nice. And I mean, I've experienced some moments of something cool, well, at least what I would describe as pretty cool, where it's like during times of just silence, where like it's like you lose track of time. It's like something you could feel like 5 minutes, but it could be like a half hour, or it could be a half hour and it could feel like 5 minutes. It's like it really doesn't matter. And I think those are moments that on just by with like a regular practice, and just maybe not going in expecting that to happen. It just will eventually. It's pretty cool, at least in my mind. That
Yeah, because expectation is where the issue lies, right? Because something is there
yeah,
that is
well, you're
expecting.
attaching to a result.
Yes, because and then there's something there that is expecting something. And that's what has to dissolve. That idea of something being there
Exactly.
has to dissolve, because once that dissolves, that's it. What remains is your original state of being, which is silent and still.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good.
It's been nice to be back on the Satsang. So thank you again for sending the invites.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. No problem. My pleasure. Okay, good. Any other questions? We are coming at 11:20. So if there are none, maybe we can end here. Pete, I will discuss with you, or I'll send you a reply to your question. I'm sorry we didn't cover your question of happiness and suffering as part of conscious life. So I will send you an email, you know, explaining that as well. Yeah, should we end?
Yeah. Can I take a moment?
Yes, sure.
What is the takeaway from today's discussion? As I felt that last sentence you said, you are in the world. That's what we are thinking. We are thinking that we are in this world, but no. The actual answer is world is within us. That is the one sentence. It went into my mind. I will think on that again. That means you and God are one. When word is in us, right? This is a non-duality principle of Ramana Maharshi and Buddha and Shankaracharya. And also, this is recently, goes along with the cosmic or whatever quantum physicists agree, somewhat closer to agreeing to this thoughts at this moment. This is what I felt in my today's takeaway.
Yeah, they will all point. They will
Yeah,
all point to the same
yeah,
point, which is Sat. Remember,
yeah.
Sat is the only reality that we talked about, which is silent and still. Eventually, you will all land up there, because that's the only place which is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's interesting.
Okay. All right. So we'll close here. Once again, thank you for coming, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. Take
Thank you.
care.
Thank
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.